Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. Halloween 2022, scuba diving, British Virgin Islands, dive site, Santa Monica Rock. The Santa Monica Rock dive site is located about half a nautical mile southwest of Norman Island. This dive site has a lot of exposure to the open sea, especially from the north and the east. As a result, it's really only accessible on relatively calm days. This site is recommended for advanced divers with boat experience. Santa Monica Rock is an offshore pinnacle. It rises from 100 feet to within about 12 feet of the surface. It's one of the best dive sites in the BVI for seeing large open water fish. We found this to be true as the sharks showed up about 15 minutes into the dive. The most common dive plan for this area follows something along the lines of descending the mooring line to a coral rock bottom that's in about 35 feet of water, then heading south until you reach the ridge. At this point, you'll be near a 45-foot hole that's between two pinnacles. Staying on the north side of the ridge and then turning left and swimming along the ridge at a depth of about 40 feet, you can explore the ledge. At the southeast end of the ridge, the bottom drops to about 80 feet and then to 100 feet. As you round the southeast end of the ridge, you should be at a depth of about 50 feet. There are lots of ledges and overhangs at these depths. Along the southern side, there's a narrow canyon formed by the main ridge and a separate set of large boulders. Just past this canyon, there's a large sand channel and about 65 feet of water. It leads to a small cave. If you continue past that, the ridge on your right, staying at about 45 to 55 feet of water, the ridge bends slightly more northerly. Then you come to a series of separate boulders or pinnacles, each reaching towards the surface. At this point, you'll want to turn southeast and head back toward the mooring. Back near the mooring, the bottom is 45 to 50 feet, and there are sand patches that are interdispersed between coral. We experienced some fairly strong current at the beginning of the dive. For the first 10 to 15 minutes, there was a lot of kicking, and I got some cardio in. The current seemed to be localized to one little chute between two ridges, and after we made the turn out of the chute, the current was not bad at all for the remainder of the dive. The current was significant enough during those 10 minutes that a few divers decided to return to the boat after we made it around that chute. Unfortunately, they missed out on the sharks. I had considered aborting the dive myself. I was a little worn out, but I'm glad I didn't. There were 3 reef sharks in total, and they made several passes and hung around for a few minutes. I was taking pictures here with my Nikon D850 and an Icolite dive housing. I had both a regular GoPro and a GoPro Max 360 mounted on top of the dive housing, each in their own separate little dive housing. I was excited to see how the 360 video would turn out with the sharks. Unfortunately, the GoPro Max does not work well underwater, and because of the way the light bends and the curvature of the lenses, the quality of the video was really, really bad, unfortunately, and as a result, not even worth posting here on YouTube. I really enjoyed this dive site. After the current incident at the beginning, it was really a mellow dive the rest of the time. I hung out near the bottom of the mooring pin and just explored. And here inside this hole, which I think this is the one that was described as being 45 feet deep, there was this Jack. He was solo and just hanging out by himself. And it was really interesting, really beautiful in this hole. You could see there are a bunch of different corals. And the reef overall looked really healthy. As with a lot of the other dive sites so far, there was not an abundance of large fish, a lot of really small fish, but not that many medium to large size fish. Overall, I really like this dive site. I think it's a great dive site. There's a lot to see here. As I mentioned, it's relatively exposed, and today was a pretty calm day, so I can't imagine what it would be like trying to dive this site on any kind of day when there was rough weather.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.